Narcos for helping you out into the playtest. Yeah, Narcos is a good dude. He's a really nice guy. All was chill with a tense air. Those present all sat in complete silence. Oh, I need to change my title, don't I? Those present all sat in complete silence. It's actually the opposite. Narcos is an asshole on the surface, but is actually quite a nice guy underneath it all. Then there was Yuan Chun, Yuan Chun, with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. In the centre of it all sat Jia Jichen, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Yuanchan. Seated next to the hierarch's seat upon which Shichen sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honoured heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods lightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Zichen's guests, whose stay here at our H-Corp seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q Corp? What's up with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, and did everyone catch that? H Corp. Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jia Jichen, the family hierarch herself presiding over the official assembly. Clearly, she is using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. As we are all aware, venerable former Jia Mu has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H Corp's prospects. Even after I departed the family for Q Corp, venerable former Jia Mu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelt suspicious. We'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the venerable Jiamu's will, I shall be presiding over this irregular assembly, which we convene now to discuss and determine the future of H Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of this scene, or something. Your Grace certainly befits your station, Lady Yuan-chan. We are all impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongguan, despite your already saturated schedule. We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuan-chan. My parents, a true shame that they couldn't be here, have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuan-chan. Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongguan. Their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarch war. Very well, then shall we welcome Jia Jichen, the next person to sit upon the seat of Hongguan's family hierarch? Greetings, I am... Now, let us begin. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H Corp. Jia Jichen's expression immediately sours as Yuan-chan unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights, auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, big sister Yuan-chan. Passing the distributive contribution rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days, and the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals by guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance in the previous quarter. Jia stutters a little, flustered, before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favour lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H Corp. If I may, Venerable Hierarch, lining the pockets is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect the society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think? Oh, before we continue, Xi-Chen, I'm not entirely certain if you're aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hongguan has been racing to the, for lack of the better word, rock bottom. Clearly this demonstrates Hongguan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hongguan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H Corp's Articles of Association, you would have known that should H Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voices may also carry de facto power in the assembly. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unsightly rumours and slander are tanking our value, which we've built up assiduously through the years and upon years of toil. So what is this if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities, when the decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? Jia Yuan-chan was somehow turning the room against Xi-Chen, without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H Corp's value. No one in the assembly, not a single representative from any families present, stepped up to point out how Jia Xi-Chen's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hongguan's front yard, or how she deftly manoeuvred her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within Daguanwan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension, despite her relative inexperience, but... Everyone in Hongguan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all of them had somehow, inconceivably, slipped their minds. So you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Xi-Chen? Very well. Then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hongguan singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecasts, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years. That's... The Venerable Hierarch has not received the data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware that the chaos that followed the ascension, we are still indexing all available materials to... Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hongguan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hongguan's historical statistics. Probably because you don't have a worm in her. Jia Yuan-chan must have known all along, too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Jian Huang worm, or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Xi-Chen's weakness, knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the Anamna worm, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of the hierarch, Jia Mu, are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call the vote the motion of no confidence. Emotion of no confidence. Emotion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Ji-chun's power. So this is the picture Jia Yuan-chan wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarch stammering and stumbling through her first meeting to the total and near unanimous support from the H-Corp board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about, seems to me they've not got an ounce of respect for the lass or us. Never trust twats Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see you as useful. You're not the only one who's pissed off. So can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? Don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know? My ass would have left the chair long ago if it weren't for this, lass. In H-Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in favour of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she will become a hierarch in name only. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted waiter. The Assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jia Ji-chun to the floor? Hold on. The vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly. She family has no objections. Let's say the Wang family has no objections either. Zue family too. The arrest of the previous family heads seems to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more useful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuan-chan's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage.
It is far too vexing to simply watch and do not.
Right, I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're walking all over Ji-chun like she's not even here.
Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated.
Hey, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time, I want to be courageous. Courageous with your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this together, okay?
Very well, I am in agreement.
Yeah, then let's go on 3, at the same time. If there are no objections. 1, 2. The Assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and... in a month. 3. Here, I objection! Bloody hell. Oi, have you gone mental? Sinclair stood tall, at the centre of the entire room's undivided astonishment. Alone. Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervour and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? No, wait, no. What happened there, Don Quixote? We were going to... What happened to objecting together? Huh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels, borrowing the tithes of the illustrious Red Gaze and the Department of LCC? Disputes in succession of power on such high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Why are you normal all of a sudden? Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy meek boy? Well, that's just... I guess I just assume this is how Limbus Company rolls now. There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Ji-chun's guests. Withdraw your objection and we will consider this a momentary loss of control and not enter it as an official statement. It was... Sinclair's eyes were shaking, like someone with his life on the line. If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Ji-Chun demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. He can't. And how could anyone? How could anyone when we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jia Bao donated the coins he received from GHQ to you. Essentially, you pity partied your way to victory. Pity partied? And for your ascension, GHQ and these outsiders from an upstart company had to almost literally carry you to the seat. Has there even been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? We have not all been witnesses to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation of her own ascension. You must have no shame, snaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. It's GHQ. That's when quiet, even footsteps broke through Jia Wanchan's merciless dismantling of Jia Ji-Chun. She gone. Yet I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. This is no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement, coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. You've said it yourself, no? That the vote on the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarch war difficult to accept, such as a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans, which would preclude the participation of the family hierarch's Heishopags and the Jialan guards. So you would remove her POW and cannon and chariot before the game even begins. Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case? What audacity! Do you truly have that much faith in Jia Ji-Chun's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be a unanimous, one-sided end to the vote of no confidence. And naturally, any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarch should be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You're free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out, Honglu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Wanchan. We actually have just as much confidence in Ji-Chun as she does. His wide eyes stare directly and unblinkingly into Jia Wanchan's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Impudent child. How dare he stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. But you have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is indeed fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and power bestowed upon the family hierarch. The consequences of such recalcitrance would be no different from those that the traitors are facing, wouldn't you agree? Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Wait, I'm... Jigong turns around toward us with that same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless of for whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a new few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take, not to mention the official channels through which you must bring them past Daguanwan's walls, which may take up to 2 months. Why not relent now, and relinquish but a part of your powers as the family hierarch to the board of directors? It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jia masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. Jigong gestured confidently toward the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. That was actually really cool. Can we have this? Probably. Let me have a look. Omgabra. Yeah. I kind of hope they bring back synchronizations from Ruiner to Limbus for the Art Night scale up. That would be cool, wouldn't it? I guess most Gacha games pay their respect to the good old Ace Attorney. Yeah, Ace Attorney is timeless, isn't it? I believe. Since they're not making IDs for it. Yeah, that would be really cool. Now, I was locked in, yeah. Like, I don't want to be distracted when I'm doing those, because, like, obviously it will disrupt my train of thought. I'm bad enough at the voices. I'm really tired right now, so yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm bad at paying attention to chat while we're doing the like bad voiceovers. I apologise. I am gonna skip the Art Nights Egos apart from the free one. Yeah, Marliani. But no, I'm not too locked to look at chat afterwards. Don't worry, like, don't worry. Chat isn't like flowing particularly fast, so I won't miss any messages. Don't worry. We were planning to train Jia anyway, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline. Hey, when you said LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Shichen. Big sister Yuan-chan's an old snake. You've just given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world once and for all that I'm not qualified to be the family hierarch. But Shichen, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dared underestimate you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I just thought I had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do. But now, things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be the family hierarch, and she's right. I've pretty much lucked into this position. Shichen, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much. Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction. Thanks, my assault. The heck, Shichen? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? Have you even had the audacity to pretend to not even know who we were, didn't you? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? I actually got under her skin back then, huh? So Shichen, what do you want to do? You sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan-chan's gonna continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q Corp, Big Sister Yuan-chan used to always accompany Jiamu these assemblies. If we just let them hold the vote of no confidence, They're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch's scope of power. And who knows, they might even call for a re-evaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides, Vixen Suan-chan's I think her definition of Hongguan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for isn't H-Corp's prosperity, it's Daguanwan's. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q-Corp, which I bet has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision that you have for Hongguan's future, right? And that's why you spoke up against her. My vision for Hongguan is I want to change H-Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this. And in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great, so it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Sode. So, to summarize, the responsibility of training Ji-Chun to win these matches, these amorphous tests upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Jie Yuan-chan's control, by the way, and is also probably a trap, within the next 30 days, is ours. And we have to explain that to Sode. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Post-mortem reports have become quite rote. Sometime later.
Prithee, thou must impress upon the illustrious red gaze that 'twasn't mine idea this time.
Sinclair stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sode. Yes, and I understand that as well. For the 8th time. As always, Sode was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which those sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great, let's give it our best. Sinclair mutters in a near whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yes, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best? I totally agree. We messed up everything again, and... What? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Ji-Chun's acclimatize. Assist Miss Ji-Chun acclimatizing herself to the responsibilities of the family hierarch. It was always a part of the plan. It's rough when the text doesn't actually make sense. Well, I sure am glad that I took Fast's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to the LCB's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports back during the J-Corp's incident had I known. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he left Zilu and I here to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must still be rather on thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably made the entire board of directors naught but putty in Yuan-chan's hands. And that would have led that snake to de facto assume the seat of the family hierarch. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most viable strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head on. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Daguanwan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jie Ji-Chun to further solidify her influence here, depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence. They have played right into our hands by accepting this deal. So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail? No, we are not, because you will not fail. Not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Ji-Chun? All 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitude to be educators. Ah, by the way, We already have an established internal hierarchy based on the sum of each of our abilities. I love that she actually references that as like a guide to the most powerful sinners. She's just like, yes, we've already determined who are the most powerful sinners, and thus the pecking order is already defined. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull for the Art Knights K-Lab. Hey, no, guys. Who cares about the K-Lab anyway? I've been saving up for a year. So can suck it. I'm victorious. What did you win? Oh, you managed to pass the account off. Nice job. Tomorrow and download. Nice job. Yeah, thanks for doing that, by the way, Narcos. It's very kind of you. Of course, the results weren't entirely to my satisfaction due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mired in narrowed vision, rife with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are defined not by such statistics. So, you must be the one who placed last in that scale. Just don't say anything, bud. Best not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted then. My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits. From the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from all those who we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? Sorry. I am preparing a lesson plan for young Ji-chun, our family hierarch. Wow, you shook up there fast. So what are these yellow wormy things here? Ah, 'tis a star, twinkling in its radiance. According to the schedule you have prepared, the student would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lesson's plan's execution will require cooperation from T-Corp. Yeah, it would be a mistake most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post-haste. Qigong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Qigong's grimace? Of course, to each their own. I suppose I need not be shaken by every little thing until we have the actual lesson plans in hand. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Qigong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand that couldn't have been easy. You could say that I've learnt my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. Imagine being shown up by the sinners. I see that you have all individually worked on your lesson plans as per Qigong's request. Wait, is this unmasked Shilu? I have received a total of 12 lesson plans. Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive manager has decided to spare their precious time to teach a class. Huh? Yeah, I handed in my lesson plan too. That is because... so, who didn't do their homework? After a brief silence, everyone turned around and looked at one of the sinners. Of course. It ain't me! Oh please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who else other than you could it possibly... It's me. Yisink! You've been acting out of character a lot recently. What's going on? Well, that's... Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason. Actually, in Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filled to the brim with writing. Sinclair, are these papers... I'm done. Sorry, I got too into making a lesson plan and just couldn't stop myself from writing. Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers into Gilly's hands. and she receives it with mild trepidation. You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan. What's up with her? Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108 analytical approaches to the Aesthetes AAA. What does AAA mean, and how do you plan to explore all 108 approaches in a month? Appreciation of artistry in assassinations? Really, that's my fucking thing. You went too far. Right. Sorry. Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? It's quite viscous and the paper has partially melted. Lady, watch yourself. You almost got some on my arm. A painting. Chile? Entrails coating the world. Now you know how aesthetes. What is that word? It's the second time it was used. I thought I could maybe glaze over it, but I'm actually going to have to look it up. Is that a real word? A person who is appreciative of and sensitive to art and aesthetes. Appreciative of and sensitive to art and beauty. I have never ever seen that word used before. Now you know how aesthetes appreciate the artistry of slaughter. Just what the hell did you paint on that paper? Hey, get it together. Lulu stumbled briefly. Whatever was on the paper must have given her quite the shock. My mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson. Thus, it goes to the discard pile. Weak sauce. Zelu crumpled up the paper without hesitation and tossed it out of sight. Next. Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Chapter 1. How to shake hands with your left hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2. Exploration of exclusively long-sleeve fashion and practices. Chapter 3. Projecting confidence and why having bug arm is totally cool. That's you know how it is. Be proud of who you are, all that philosophy stuff. I wanted to this lesson to give a bit of a paradigm shift where we can all come to see our flaws, not as failings, but as evidence of our individuality. Which will usually usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives, no matter what kind of arm we have. Discard. Next. Zulu quickly flipped through the pages. Intro to Denigrative Linguistics. Subheading. The power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones. So let's add words to the pile. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard that they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. I have plans for application as well. The lesson teaches methods pertaining to disguising compliments in criticisms and vice versa. All of this seems rather difficult to learn. I've concluded from my hitherto observations that JJWF is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have an upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? Zulu seemed quite interested, but JJWF's vehement veto eventually overruled the suggestion. On Justice, another impressive title. Subheading. Methodologies of captivating an entire room of preoccupied audience. Discard.
Fire me! Wherefore?
Next, practice of ego splitting concerning inter-mirror conflict between the self and the reflection, and paradoxically fractured theory of idealism, which one attempts to open an unopening door to open the door. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Ryoshu's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that occurred because the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while the team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should have been moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them down to 3 culprits. Wait, I forgot to take that part out. And into the shredder it went. When did that paper shredder get here? The art of using yawning as a cover for popping a cookie or 2 in your mouth, especially useful when getting lectured. Hey, if you get good enough at it, you can do it with nuts too. So it was you that made those crunchy sounds in the last meeting. What? Nah, do you take me for an amateur? The art of social maneuvers, how to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and making them hesitate. I remember that Big Bro used to use that technique to confuse a lot of Daguanwan people who hated him. I see. This. I can't quite bring myself to throw this into the shredder. Next. How to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. This lesson plan was designed based on Rodian's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself. Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered that to be his unique strength, okay? Let us consider whether standing in complete stillness for a week is a quality one might seek in the family hierarchy. This one is certainly interesting. What separates bravado from bravery? Jack shite. Sod off and grab your weapons. Yep. Always gotta read the full print. Ha! It's my philosophy that reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of the family hierarch's qualities, but our focus is not on developing a hierarch of a syndicate. Next. Information disparity is a driver of inequitable treatment. That's actually the most interesting sounding one so far. And the application of engineering frameworks. Okay, it's kind of losing me, but I'm still on board. The systematic resolution in rational self-interest driven societies and... Is it still going? That was 1/5 of the full title. It seems the same trouble has hindered both you and I. Every word in that title was added for its absolute necessity. Indeed, indeed. After she had gone through the majority of our lesson plans. Finally. Now that that's over. Yes, it's finally my turn. Sinclair sighed with the gravitas of someone who's just been bestowed with the most important mission in his life. Thinking back, even back in school I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson the theory on self-overcoming. You have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. Hey, but what if I like who I was yesterday more? That's actually really sad, like Rodian is so troubled. That's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside. So with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities. How to always shoot higher. Hold on. You had me for a second there, but what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? Of course, I've prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty too. I never would have imagined Sinclair would be into this though. Into this. Yeah, he's too bad he's not. He's so into it that he's not even listening to what Jichen's saying. Following that, your company's... it seems Jilu has completed her review. Oh, I see. Now how's everything going, everyone? Class prep going well? I'm curriculum most especial. Okay, so that's a no. That was Sorda's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lesson plan in her hands. Well, it wasn't a complete bust at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived. Phew. Miss Yigong, Miss Soda, I've prepared a full 30-day week's worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? But Yigong and Soda weren't looking at the dozens of lesson plans Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Yigong, especially, was looking towards an unmistakable expression of pity. So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this, Sealy? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. So this man produced this entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand. However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Jia-Ji-Chun's teachers. Or should I call you pupil Sinclair, to be exact? This has got to be a mistake, right? Isn't Ji-Chun the pupil here? No. There haven't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn this as well. What? What? Seriously? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right. Now this looks like a proper classroom. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Ji-Chun sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sink's the resident expert on going to schools, right? School was a luxury for me, you know? Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't mean I ever wanted to go back to school. You should be grateful. You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision. Otis, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyway. And you, Ishmael, you always get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours, at least. And I will ensure that you've received the best education I can provide, Sinclair. Hold on, Yisang. I thought we were the underdog duo. Remember during the checkup when I said we got this? We were going to get this together. This evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education. Congratulations, my lady. You found yourself a deskmate, which some also call a bestie, depending on desk placement. Deskmate. Bestie. What the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Jia-Ji-Chun's eyes widened with confusion, as though she just heard those words for the first time in her life. When I first met her, she was 16. She explained to me that she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is the par for the course for children of Hongguan who are raised from the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. So, deskmates and besties. Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he was essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers. Usually sit next to each other and help each other out. A bestie might nudge the other one awake when they doze off, or share their homework with one another if one forgot to do theirs, or they usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time. So, not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. May have come a few years late, but I'm moved that my lady finally had a chance to experiencing school. Same here. I remember it like yesterday. Jichen would sit and watch other kids walk over to school from a distance, tear welling in her eyes. Dude! Oh, that reminds me. One day out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunchboxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about that, but she snuck into the kitchen and... wait, don't you guys have lessons plans to write? Come on, hurry up! 30 days are ticking down. We've only got 30 days. Of course. Unfortunately, I've become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are critical in need of organising. Thus I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Zilu and Miss Sade. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker. What was that? I said nothing. Castle Night may be released at the same time as the Alabaster Dawn demo does. I guess I have to check both in one day. You can do it, Malik. I believe in you. Radiant's third Kanto moment, yeah. So Radiant always seems like super troubled. Like everything, her whole personality seems to be like a very thin facade, and she's like she fucking hates herself. It's kind of sad. Jilu and Sode appear to have aged several years overnight. Their faces sunken and sallow. Finally, after referencing the idiosyncrasies and various statistical data available to us regarding each sinner, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum. Zilu? Apologies. Sleep deprivation has relieved me of a clear mind. The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier. Still thanks to Mr. Jiachi's methodology you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 30 days as promised is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 supercategories, and they are called... what are these supposed to be? Ji, Yong, and Ren. Ji, wisdom. The wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words. A reasonable sequence of logic. Young, courage, the ability to overcome fear, to act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a brute. Have too little and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance. So how far are we allowed to go with the corporal punishment again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. And Ren, humanity is the benevolence of our heart, the compass of behaviour that dictates respect toward every human. Clearly, most of the faculties of this school are severely lacking in all 3 of your high criteria. Just how do you think they'll be able to teach the students anything? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren. You sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Miss Zigong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Right. Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you. Be strong, my lady. Wei! Despite her protestations, 30 days of classes commenced. This guy actually roasting everyone, yeah. This Diwali's great. Yeah, this Diwali's really fun so far. Oh, we've actually got the Princess Maker stats. class schedule. Oh boy. I'm gonna be right back, just 1 second. Apologise. I did not get a break to do anything this morning. I have to do all my chores after stream, but I need to at least check on the cats to make sure they're fed and everything. I will be right back, I'm very, very sorry. Hi guys! Sorry about that. Yeah, Princess Maker. I love it. It's so nostalgic. The camera does follow me. It is a piece of software called NVIDIA Broadcast. It's not actually the camera itself. The camera isn't moving. I just had the idea to show you the camera and how it doesn't move by like taking the camera off and pointing it towards the camera. I think I might actually be cooked today. That is probably one of the stupidest things I've thought of trying to do in a while. Wow. I was like, oh yeah, that'll be it. Fuck me. Yeah, great idea. Great idea. Yeah, it's not the camera, it's a piece of software called NVIDIA Broadcast. Super smart piece of software. You do that without thinking. Yeah, it's a really, really great piece of software if you are doing streaming or any kind of camera work, or it does a lot of voice stuff as well. I don't use it for voice stuff, but you can make yourself have like studio quality voice and that kind of thing in NVIDIA Broadcast. You too can sound like pirate software, you know. You use your phone to try to find your phone. I think we've all probably been there. We've done something like that in the past. It's just such a like, oh my god, that's so stupid. I thought I'd share. Right. We can't actually interact with any of this, right? They're just going to improve as we go along. This is a mandatory class. Receiving classes, yeah, crack on. I want to see that message every time. My name is Yisai. That's all. The class I've prepared for the day. I've heard plenty about your mirror tech, which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement in that technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technological advancement usually goes. People invent for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped into weapons of destruction. Indeed, you show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in the past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them. I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks sounds much more palatable than potential itself to some people after all. Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandonment of my quondam fellows and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past. How did you bring yourself to just abandon it all? I conversed. With who? With myself. That lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflection extends beyond the veils of our own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strengths, and the world. Yet even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerable worlds of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon oneself. What is this? I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. I actually love it so much. Now, if you're prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. For some reason, Ji-chun appeared to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sun Zen of the Shi family who contacted you for a meeting? Yeah, the guy who said he was gonna show me a precious flower that blooms only at night. I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wonder what that kind of flower that was. Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Oh, of course not. You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess. I'm glad it didn't go away. You were right. If only you still had that Wu branch under your control. Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it. I was brushing my hair and looking in the mirror as we were talking, but I realised that I no longer recognised the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to, and an experience like that was going to be common with occurrence anyway, and the family hierarch war was always looming on the horizon. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it is paramount to face oneself nonetheless. Nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see? See, well, I just see myself smiling. I don't see what's so out of the ordinary. But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror. Hey, after what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I've had some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself I've had hidden away for a long time. I had a very precious time learning to converse with my inner self. I'm not sure how much learning Sinclair has done so far. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. It's so silly, I love it. Didn't believe this is actual game mode. Yeah, no, I did. I knew that it was going to be kind of like this, but like it's really good. I love it. Oh, select a class for this time slot. How do we do it? I see. We drag here. Expert. Oh, we don't have a choice. I see. Expert. Tis true that a station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Shichen both sat with a bit of apprehension as well, which is understandable, given what Soda had told them sometime before the lesson started. Some time ago, Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a good while, finally decided to voice her doubts to Soda. So what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her usual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis. While she may not look it, Don Quixote is extremely well versed in those adventure tales. Why would any of that matter? Have you yourself considered that fixes often appear when history is in the making? Let us see here. Don Quixote took a second to savour the moment, as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honoured names were engraved in history. Verily, let us commence this lesson with the tale of a fixer you aid fame. This tale beginneth in the year sometime later. Are you done? Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going on for ages. Thus cometh the time to test thy dedication to this class, and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. A pop quiz, if thou will. Will she even find time to prepare this? I can assure thee, 'tis a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty if thou hast paid attention in class. Worry thee not. Does this pop quiz have prizes? Aha! But of course
course! I came prepared for such inquiries. For each correct answer I shall bestow upon thee, from the very treasure chest of mine, these precious fixer badges! Forsooth, I did not let a day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least!
I don't know, I don't really need them.
Hold thine applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor, who, by the end of this match, carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of a protagonist in this theatrical play of my making. Fixer Chronicles UFA. Tis an opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm still not really... It's not doing anything for either of us. Yeah, it's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose.
Seriously?
What? Schedule lose? Is history your weakness or something?
I'll have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single history class I took.
It's not a good boast, Sinclair. It's not a great one. It's not a great one, mate. Don is just an idiot. Don is definitely not an idiot. Don is just a bit of a lunatic.
Forsooth!
I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered with praise from every master I ever had. Okay, that's what you want to play it. I'll have you know that I was a prodigy in other classes too. I did great in art classes. Pretty good at math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, Suchin. Sinclair's an arsehole! What a nice guy he is. Oh, then let me tell you that I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every day. And on one of those days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said, "Looks like Miss Shioshishin's finally getting a feel for how friendships close and age are forged in school." That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there are some experiences you just can't learn from teachers. I TikToked in response.
Tis year 505! What is the historical community's consensus on the most illustrious battle that Fixer Yue Fei is said to have partaken in?
Allow me to impart thee a major clue. If thou hast paid attention as I discourse upon the 5 villages in which the Fixer Yue Fei was mentioned, this should not be a difficult question to answer. The Honourable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven, who attained triumph in the Battle of Rhino Tree in the year 465, have said what was the worst ordeal she had to face in her career. I've got it. It's when she had to forge onward despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line into busier time. Damn it, I was too slow.
Why, Yangshi-chan, thou art correct! Thou art incorrect! Honourable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is recorded to have testified the worst ordeal in her career was when she forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, as the supply line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutritional supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, Yangshi-chan, was her 17th most difficult ordeal.
She said... She's speaking like she was actually there.
Thine impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales, but most of these tales I've learnt from books. Much did I anticipate the opportunity to regale these tales in such audience, enough to study the ways of minstrels.
There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. Fuck me. Sounds like someone we know. Before Faust done. Yeah, we haven't had Faust yet. We have not had Faust yet. Do not worry, Fuzzin. I'm glad you could make it for one of them. Time suddenly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures.
What was the secret technique Honourable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak its name in full. I've got it. It's Summonite Fantasia. Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivated retelling of this super ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting it with such apathy. thou must recreate the exact pose and the enunciation. Are you kidding me? Come on, you can do this, JJWF. You can do this. This is nothing. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour thee whole. Summer night fantasia! Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage. Thus I bestow upon thee this badge. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Thus muttered the hero, then declared, I shall tear this evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the centre of thy heart. Dante, light, left side. Gotcha. Don Quixote, who was watching Sinclair and JJWF's two-person play, silently wiped her tears away. Brother, certain minor details were missed, such as the hero fixed the fixer was left-handed, and that he had a habit of playing with the lighter in his left pocket before every duel, yet it was a wonderful reenactment indeed. I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversity in thine adventures, rekindle the memory of UFA, the fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Thus cometh to an end the lessons of today. Huh? It was just for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. I get why she's so obsessed with fixers. Clutched tightly in Ji-Chun's hands were the badges Don Quixote had gifted to her. Oh, Don was actually a good teacher. Time suddenly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. I had a very precious time learning to converse with my inner self. The mental illness is spreading. Okay, so we just have like repeats of the lessons. I see. Well, it's time for Faust, it looks like. This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of the former H-Corp's singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. Huh? You look kind of upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration into Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame. Aren't you the one who built Mephistopheles though, Miss Faust? Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engines, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands. Yeah, sure. Based on the skills I've learned, I managed to recreate the model of a machine from Faust's blueprint. So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I get to learn more about the old H-Corp. I don't think I can do much against the reconstruction days right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle that iniquitous thing. The day when Hongguan can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of encroaching reconstruction days. Without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not. Until Hongguan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. The voltage must have been set too high. Repeating experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires. There was supposed to be a lesson somewhere in there, right? Time suddenly flies while hearing the tales of exciting adventures. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Look at those gains!
This was really well put together. I actually love it. Now we get to choose. I have no idea. Should I be favouring any of these? These are experts. I mean, expert makes sense to me. Novice is low. Expert is better. The Black Silence. Shh. Don't speak of his name. Durandali. The combo. Is there a combo? Yeah, combo. Combo. Fixer Association Encyclopedia for Dummies. So we want to combo this with one of these. This is huge morale. Obviously you get no morale from listening to Yi Sang. And morale's quite high now, right now though, so I guess we take the negative morale and then boost it back up with Dawn later. Since his talk gives more rent. Oh, you can check what the bonuses do. Combo. Stat gain Ren +4, stat gain G +4. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate that. Combo! Ren and G. So it's 2 stats either way. Oh, so actually exactly the same stats. Oh, no, I see. Class success rate. Oh, so the class can fail. Sure. The gains from Honglu are so extreme. We should go with Honglu for now, I think. Not Honglu, sorry, Yi Sang. Makes me want to play those princess maker games. Yeah, man. It reminds me so much of them. Farzin. It reminds me so much of them. Like every second of it. The login music every time I've logged into this has made me like every time I've heard it, I've been like, man, I wish I could go back and play those games. I would probably play them for like 30 minutes and then get bored, but like I miss them. So much nostalgia there. There's an info button. What, up here? Yeah, we already looked through this. Unlike some other classes, which are more on the upbeat side of things. The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves a much larger, longer-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out right here, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Ji Chen here had failed to finish her ascension. It would have spread like wildfire, too. So, my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh! A piece of chalk slipped from Gregor's fingers as he went to scribble something on the board. His left hand was trembling, as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Man, why's it gotta... Excuse me, Miss Zilu, is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, when else am I going to get a chance to share the realities of war right to a wing chief executive officer's face, huh? The moments that just don't come off of your skin, no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you have to say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate the sentiment. Well, still though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss Ji Chen's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So... let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. Ji Chen actually, like, genuinely being interested in what he has to say. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. And that's why the Smoke War fronts were mostly characterised by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles. They could be surrounded by enemies at all times. So everyone tried to draw each other out to an open field battle, which naturally turned into trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this isn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plans easier to maneuver in. I feel like the Guanwan could make pretty good use of Hongguan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Heisho know and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitating outside the Guanwan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones we met who were going in circles? Not to mention how the Heisho will utilise the topography of Hongguan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches manoeuvre around Hongguan, as long as the 12 Heisho branches are standing, Hongguan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all that, I'm sure we all know what the best answer in all warfare is. Not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about how some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have to not only witness it, but go through all that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. Ooh! Actual in-game notation that it's like Gregor's canto was not the full story. City was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. I still remember the cutscene quite vividly. That was what really like sold me on the game. I was like, fuck me, this is awesome. The really like disturbing cutscenes, the flashbacks that Gregor was having. I was like, holy shit, this game doesn't fuck around. This game does not fuck around. City was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. It's smoking as a coping mechanism. Like his hand trembling because he's got PTSD in this ridiculous, horrible war that he fought in, and all the horrible shit that he did, horrible shit that happened to him. You'd always shrug off these stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war, he stood at the centre of the heartless machine that was the city. Its every gear calibrated to slaughterhouse precision to maximise the death of its people. There, he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking restlessly in pursuit of what was no more. He's still under an advertising contract with the Smoke Wars. Damn, didn't think of that, PT Many. Oh boy. Sorry, fellas. I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting and what happened and that I forgot that this was supposed to be a class. I'll be sure to prep something more useful next time. No. Everything you told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hongguan needs to come to an end soon, as something so horrible could happen. I'm heading to my next class. Wait for me! Even after the two students had left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left only after almost emptying the entire pack. Poor Gregor. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Oh, we're bollocking! Oh, baby. There's no combo with Gregor and Faust. No combo with Gregor and Don. No combo with Gregor and Yisang. Oh, we can probably look at all the combos, can't we? I know we don't have them unlocked. There are so many. We're at 72 morale. So we should probably like top our morale back up, right? With a good Don lesson. It doesn't use combo, it show combos so you use them. The typo's about it. It's okay, just blame Quantum. It's all Quantum's fault. Hold on 1 second. I don't know how I haven't thought of this before. Bear with me a second. It won't be ready for a second. I'll tap back to it. How are classes going, Jijun? Not you, big bro. I pay attention in class. Oh, hello, Miss Day. She was really insistent on helping me out, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply couldn't allow him to do this alone. Looks like it's going to be another serious class. Ah! Apologies for the delayed greetings. Dayu of the Lin clan formally extends her greetings to the venerable hierarch. Been a while since I heard that greeting around here. Wait, what about Big Sis Bao Chai? You sure it's okay for the Jue family bodyguard to be here? I'm no longer employed as Miss Bao Chai's guard. Oh, wait, don't tell me we got you. Everything I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Bao Chai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble was over. So, what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got vetoed by Zilu, so you could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but come on, you spent most of your time stuck in Yi Hongguan before leaving Hongguan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Jichun. This is one thing I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Jichun and Sinclair is... In clear, neat handwriting, Honglu wrote, "Surviving Hongguan" on the chalkboard. Oh, well, I don't think I need any help in that department from you. Look, I know you had your share of assassination attempts, big bro, but Jiamu, I mean, the previous hierarch in the Elder's favour, sheltered you from the worst of it. She's not wrong. Back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, weren't you also one of the handful who got assassinated? Oh, that? I was wandering the hallways because I felt like something was off about my room. Until Dande told us all to go back to our rooms, of course. Oh, wait, it was my fault! You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm gonna have to prove myself. Dave, would you mind preparing the thing? You have my utmost faith, but please do practice caution. Sometime later, Lindayu appeared with 4 bowls splishing with tea before sprinkling some powder into them. What's that? That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contains poison, right? You can stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poisons like wolfsbane when I was 7. If it was something as tame as what you were suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. Lindayu continued her process, sprinkling wolfsbane powder into 2 more bowls. Honglu, who was watching with oddly contented expression, closed his eyes. Please, mix them up, Dave. Okay, wait, what? We stared in confusion, but we could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lindayu swapped around the bowls, and we looked back at Honglu. There were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made at Daguanwan's request, a must-have item for children of the 4 great houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. Yeah, I know, they're actually... Actually what? It's nothing. in Fahong 1, where we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions. Knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What in the heck are you? But Honglu opens his eyes before Jia Zhichun can finish her sentence. Then, he throws the silver spoons in his hands like throwing pins toward 3 of the bowls, and immediately chugs the 4th bowl, which he hadn't thrown a spoon at. Holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked them for... Jiren's noir tea is always delicious, even when cooled. 3 silver spoons Honglu had cast earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is Wolfsbane's poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons in Daguan 1. Since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. Fine, I don't even want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too. Do they sound different or something? I just went with a hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know? You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. I'll help you out. Should we begin with 2 bowls? I managed to tell the difference between the bowls by reading Honglu and Dei's subtle tells. I see. When you say you just avoided whatever felt wrong with a hunch, you were reflexively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences. You were using Miss Dei's anxious breathing to clue you in. So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Zhichun. I know that the adepts of each Heisho will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Nuanjianwu, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kinds of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify, and when it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. You're worrying over nothing. Jia Zhichun whipped around away from Honglu as if to express dissatisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worried. Aww. I had a so-so time learning various technological and engineering knowledge. Time suddenly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. Every 6 days you will be subject to midterms, prepared by the board of directors, Jia Yuan-chan. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam sites, and only by passing the tests may Jia Zhichun retain her status as the family hierarch. My lady. Oh, don't worry yourself over much, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease, as long as she has been diligently taking her classes. No, I simply hope I can survive until she returns. It seemed that Wei's rather funereal voice wasn't just out of his concern for Zhichun. Wei, are you sure you're okay? I can't escape them, even in dreams. The unfinished bundles of paperwork cascading over me like a storm, burying me. Steel yourself, for that was no dream at all. In fact, never have I once seen paperwork trained in the arts of airwalking until now. I must be severely sleep deprived. You and me both. Qigong. It's like we're not the only ones going through the ringer. Huge gains. Fausting it up. Jia Zhichun gained 1 defense level. Nice. We're popping off out here. D6, shit. You got Outer Wilds physics. Hey, you're one of the she-boys. We finally meet. I'd hoped to fight you in the family hierarch war. If you'd run into me then. Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you have a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarch war couldn't be any clearer. and everyone even remotely connected to the mess has all been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half of my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? Honestly, why don't you just declare a war against the Shi family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? War's not easy. It never is. What are you on about? So all of a sudden, it's not something that we should be talking so lightly about, even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they are under investigation for treason against the Guanwan. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty, regardless of what really happened. You know I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden their cells all over Hongguan? They're not hidden. All holding cells within Hongguan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions, but I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hongguan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policies so that the prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations. Really? Where'd you... I was lucky enough to take a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too. Huh. You really did change a little. Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Good. Come on, let's do this. Many illustrious fixers of the past have said that naught but disparagement awaits unjust victories. Yeah, she learned from everyone. Everyone was mentioned. She learned from all the classes. We're popping off. We're popping off, Shichun. Let's go, Shichun! Crimson Phoenix is a skill 2. Yeah, skill 2. Crimson Spring is a skill 3, isn't it? I think this is a skill 3, right? This is a skill 1. His skill 1 sucks. I remember these very well from Doctrinaire. I was always happy to see the skill 2 and 3 and always sad to see the skill 1. Oh, look at all these skill 1s! Love not having poise potency on any skills. That does sound good. The Dawn Virus. Quantum Spoke. It's a good place to fail your flip, Shichun. Great work. She's dominating out here. These skill 1's going to be a breeze. Actually flawless. This is what the incredible tutelage of the sentence does for a person. Oh, this guy's getting staggered. Absolutely dominated. Jichun's a god. Good for you. You won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family hierarch war, didn't you? Yeah? So what? You calling me a penniless loser? Yeah. You little... And I'm sure that's what I look like to you too. I don't want your sorry. Every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm gonna win. I'm going to win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hongguan itself. Shihazen, you're tenacious, determined and strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you, down to the last man. You knew my name? Mom? I do. So what do you think? Want to make them sing your name in glory for the remaining history of Hongguan? Great job, Shichin. We've got Ishmael up next. I'm sure Ishmael has a whole bunch of things to teach. So Dawn is the way we get our bar back up. So we don't use Dawn other than that. We could try and combine some other things together. We have very little Young. So we should probably try to push that, I guess. Gregor's all about that. I don't know if we should be balanced. I don't really know like what is what. We just want better clashes. What's better clashes, guys? Is it the red one? Clashes are all that matter. She needs a lot of things, it would seem. She might actually be quite a good hierarch. Everything helps, okay. I guess we'll like push Gregor up or something. We do have a full spreadsheet about all the combos. Breadstick, what should I push? Because this is all gonna just be stats from here on out. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Thanks so much, Puff. That's really kind of you to follow. I hope you're having a great day. Send it to me. You could send it to me, or you could tell me which the best stat is. Hello, King Boo. My point leader. Look at this. What champion. No one holds a candle to King Boo the Clown. You get to 1,000,000 points, King Boo, I'll send you a JJ card. We'll unlock more traits for Chichin. Okay, we should probably do that then. Let's do that! Thanks, Breadstick. Our attempt got rinsed by King Boo. How'd you manage to come out on top in your first sparring match? Congrats. Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy. I like your attitude. Well, shall we take a look at what I prepared for today? You're teaching about exploring, huh? It's gonna be an indoors class? Yep. Exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Hongguan. Surviving 10 days in Hongguan backstreets with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. And that's when I realised that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical space. A few weeks ago. So, I'm just here to fill in, since this game needs a certain number of players, but... Really? You really call this tabletop game an adventure? Yet in games of make-believe, any simulacra can be made as real. As, what a move! Ooh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage.
Yeah! Young Ishmael! Thou hast absolutely pummeled the Gorgon beast with thy fireball smell, rendering it most crispy!
It was a formidable foe. That was wonderfully executed, Miss Ishmael. Huh? Really? Well, then, as my next move... And that's how you came up with this? I've played a few other games, but this is new for me too. I'm still pretty new in general, I guess. This is called Jianghu Journeys, or J&J. It's a popular game among Hongguan's youth. It's gotten generally positive reviews too. What Ishmael so proudly presented before everyone appeared to be a board game, with numerous cards and minifigures. Okay. What do these huge piles of paper have to do with exploration? Rule number 1. Most experienced player among the gathered becomes the JM. The JM. Yeah, Journey Master. The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps guide the players to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes that role. Which would be me. Wiz, Strength, Dex. Each character seems to have these things called stats. Looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one. So, I'm supposed to be playing this character's role. Sinclair and JJWF picked up their cards with confusion, clear in their eyes. You arrive at the great city of Yanwan, a place known to be the gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You travelled here in search of, legendary treasure? Called, the Tianya sword. City of Yanyan? Cool. So, why are we looking for that sword again? It's because, so there's this legend in Yanyan about how the sword of... Right, the Tianya sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and bring peace to its people. And also about how having the sword is the proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth, you know? Ishmael was stuttering and stammering through the introduction, without her usual confidence. I see. The city called Yanyan must be in a lot of trouble, too. Seemingly affected by the oddly familiar setting of the story, JJWF nodded solemnly without noticing Ishmael stumbling through the introduction. Well, you know how it is. The point is, you guys need to go and find that sword. Then I will claim the Tianya sword no matter what it costs me. JJWF nods with determination. The D&D! 2 for 0 points. King Boo is like on top of his golden throne in front of his Scrooge McDuck money pit, and he's like, look at these peasants dueling for 0 points. Paupers, all of them. Beyond base that it's just a D&D nerd. When do we get the D&D nerd cycle of IDs? From the rumours you've gathered, seems the Kazan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do? I walk up to the Kazan Keep, chat him up and try to gain his trust? Are you sure? Remember, your whiz is extremely low right now, which means you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences. What if I found a different way to gain the Kazan Keep's trust that doesn't involve sweet talking him? I do have a pretty high strength stat, which means give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that doesn't require skill in speechcraft. Hold on. Try to convince the Kazan Keep. I think I've got a decent chance at this. My whiz is pretty high. And you pass the check. The Kazan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you. Okay, then I guess I'll just stand in the corner over there, unsheath my weapon and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, right? You're just role-playing Heathcliff now, aren't you? The Kazan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast towards Yinshi Mountain. But, what's this? Tears begin to well in the Kazan Keep's eyes as he continues to explain. Apparently a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine, but he can't seem to find any. Oh no. That's too bad, but we've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, we leave the Kazan. Well, they say JMs aren't supposed to interfere with the player's choices, but let's be honest, I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help out every little side quest, and there's a whole lot of adventure to go through. No, we're not leaving. I'm gonna get him that medicine. What? After a few turns of various trials and tribulations for Sinclair, the Kazan Keep's son, Fortunately was able to recover, hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realise that he's talking about the fairy Yao Guai, guardian of the Tianya sword. He explains that the fairy Yao Guai's power grows under the bright moonlight. Hold on, isn't it a full moon right now? Then we should wait until the sky's overcast. Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the clouds and tells you that it might be raining in about a week? Glad we helped him out. Okay, let's make sure we're prepared before we go. You're gonna have to roll a 15 or higher to hit. I know. I'm focused. Hey, I rolled a 16! With a final, singular strike from JJWF, the fairy Yao Guai finally falls to the ground. Defeated! Yes! The Tianya sword is ours! Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep into the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. With this we can... However... The defeated fairy Yao Guai, whom the party assumed was dead, suddenly jumps to his feet and lunges at JJWF, who just pulled the sword from the ground. No! I quickly get between JJWF and the monster! But if that crits, it's going to be pretty deadly, even for you. Let's see if you can make the evasion safe. One and another one. No, that's a critical fail. It's okay. Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. Yao Guai lies still as well, final vestiges of his strength completely spent. Sinclair! Go on without me. Take that sword. Go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword is your proof. No. This sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm gonna bandage Sinclair up and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and descend the mountain all on my own. Wait, if that's your choice, then yeah, the bleeding stops as soon as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? That stroke would have killed pretty much anyone, but you know how healthy he is. On your feet, Sinclair. We're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder. That's it. Step by step. Hey, JJWF, look over there. Everyone we helped and saved on our journey come out to welcome us home. You're right. If it weren't for you, Sinclair, I never would have stopped and talked to every single villager there to hear their troubles. The sword was only a symbol all along. All our efforts and the experiences we gained in our journey for the sword were what taught me to be a good leader, not the sword itself. You're right. That's the real success of this adventure. Was everyone's efforts along the way. I feel like this game overtook the class at some point along the way. That is a hell of a first session, yeah. That was like basically Fox's D&D game from the other night, where Sinclair was his problem player. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. I saw right through every assassination method Hong Li prepared. Oh, huge skill increases. Love to have increased skills. Now we get to pick. I guess we should get these novices up. We're 82. It's plus 40, so we should do more before we don ourselves. Work with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we face in the adventure. I saw right through every assassination method Hong Li prepared. Oh, nice! Huge gains. Look at his bug arm. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. Huge gains. We're experting out here. Oh, here comes May Assault. This should be a good one. What is May Assault going to teach about? Judgment containment. We're gonna want to do Don. Oh, he's giving morale as well, actually. So Mayasop's gonna give us morale back. I guess we can like rotate them and try and find combos. In regards to every activity, involvement of unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasteful. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. And I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote. Huh? 32 days ago? What? Excuse me, Dante. I'm sorry to ask you this, but most of us are fatally wounded, so can you please turn the clock just one more time? End quote. Unnecessary interjections weighed down your request. Wow, that's pretty bad. Did I really stutter that badly? It is a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavourable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes. Huh? Well, okay. See, you sure? Seems easy enough. Suddenly, Mayasop let out a cry as he clutched his chest, then fell to the floor. Are you okay? Mayasop, you okay? His eyes snapped open. Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed. You're cheating! This reminds me of the incident. Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide. What? What? You wished to what? Despite your belief that no one would ever find out your secret, there was one person who got to the bottom of the incident. Come on, just what did you see? Failed again. Took the class! Mayasop, teach the class. G-turn, take the class. What a wonderful adventure that was! I'm so excited for our next session. I mean, class. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. The class was taught, manager. Leveling up that S1, baby! She probably needs the most because she was last in, right? We don't need Dawn for a second. Work with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we face in the adventure. I managed to tell the difference between the bowls by reading Honglu and Dave's subtle tells. I've gained a so-so understanding of War of the Wings. These are huge gains. We've got Otis next. Yeah, I can't imagine Otis's class would give morale. 62. So we want Melee Assault to give us morale back. Gregor's is really low. Attention! Today's lesson will cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men, you will learn how to gain information from people. Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side by being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior. They'll eventually open up. Foolishness! Eh? That is among the worst strategies I've ever heard that had the displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend the limited military budget? How wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture. Torture? Ha! I'd say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. I'd rather not waste my clan's strength on something so utterly useless like that. Besides, if you end up accidentally killing them... Foolishness! Foolishness! Jeez, can't you stop saying that word? How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short. If that is all you can think of when you hear the word torture, then this unit... this isn't exactly a military unit? Then this Hongguan may indeed be beyond your ability to lead. Well, I'm waiting. Get on with your lesson. The mention of Hongguan seemed to put Jichun in a thoughtful mood, and she stopped arguing and began focusing on class. The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution are all inferior. Today, you will learn the torture of language. With this method, you will always find the answer you want. Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them. And let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you will be learning today. To your positions, cadets. Learn some threats and intimidating expressions I could use to frighten the target. Took the class. Managed to understand the troubles most foot soldiers go through and learn to get a better idea of the flow of the battlefield. That's some massive gains, that. Midterm time. This is stupidly fun. Man, J&J's cracks, dude. I played some J&J. So I hear you've defeated Shi Hazan. You do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame. Hey, watch yourself. Haven't you learned not to underestimate the AF the family underdogs? What? Oh, you don't know? You see, I managed to talk Shi Huazan into, you know? What? No, it can't be. He can't have spilled the beans on my parents. Huh. My men are already on their way. How did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them the hiding spot there. Oh, so it's Block 32. Did you just... I did. Huh? That was way easier than it was in class. I've heard stories about how you've changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman. Say something, damn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... Oh, I see. You won't be shaken by silly little things like this, is that it? That may befit the seat of the hierarchy. However, a leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. I, Shi Xijing, refuse to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power. Look at them enjoying their little D&D game. Sinclair biting on his nose, he's like... Cock shop him. Easy. Counter attack? That's cheating. Look at this low guy. It's meant to be a battle of wills, a contest of warriors. Can't be counter-attacking, crikey. Jichin is there. Yeah, she's pretty menacing. She's like... Oh, look at this huge Phoenix Flame. Phoenix third form now. It's cool that she's actually getting like new abilities. If we ever play with her again, then I guess she'll get these like increased abilities if we ever have her on our team temporarily again. Although, you know, she's probably too busy now being family hierarch to come and help us with Dulcinea. Doesn't have time for the little people anymore. Special up tie 5, that'd be sick. Look at her perfectly choosing to fail that flip at the perfect time. She's a genius. How does she do it? A prodigy.
Damn it. I was so close.
Did you ever really take the time to think about what you might happen if Big Sister Yuan-chan actually gained control of Hongguan? Sure, it's going to be all buddy-buddy at first. She's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, buddy you up, and compensate you for your efforts. Soon, you're going to see people from other nests coming in here, taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. And it's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. When that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then.
I was so close.
I was so close. It's going to be a while before the other members of your family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off of Big Sister Yuan-chan's forces, when in reality she had already discarded them even before it began. She's made sure that nothing about this treason is going to stick to her.
Mother. Father.
Now, let's think about this carefully. About Jia Yuan-chan's vision for Daguanwan. Will it be more H Corp or Q Corp?
I see the point you're making. But you've not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we're no longer useful?
So, about that hiding place where you put your parents you just accidentally let slip. I'd known their whereabouts for a while, actually. My Heisho had identified their location long ago, but I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement.
Is that true?
Just how low is your opinion of the hierarch? Big Sister Yuan-chan made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, but I still have a tight control over the Heisho of the family hierarch.
But I thought you were arresting every member of the Shi family without even questioning them.
What was it again? That leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them? Why would any hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H Corp, left and right, unnecessarily making more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that. This guy! This guy's talk about being humane to allies. Wasn't he the one eating his subordinates to death? Yeah, he was. He was the subordinate killer. He was talking about how, you know, a few subordinates' limbs are life here and there. I mean, what really big deal? What kind of big deal is that? Taking care of children from Ryoshu. Oh boy. Oh boy. This should be a good one. How fast a little Jichin grew. She's already gaslighting people left and right, yeah. TKTD. JJWK. Teaching kids to deal with kids, she says. Looks like your manager's not the only one who needs a translator. I would have liked to teach a particularly bloody art class, but that AL Black, I discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Silu wasn't there, artless or otherwise. In today's class, I'll SYNC if you're a UA. What? But I'll SCAN if you're a UC. I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax and nurture if you're an unruly child. Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now? No, not at all. Just listen carefully, evaluate the context, and there you have it. What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate? Let the art do the talking. MTL, kids. Ah, yeah, that's much easier to learn. There's much to learn. Class is about to begin. Bring the class material, attendant. Yes. Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I have brought a child from the Wang family. Why is Zirin? No, wait. What? You brought a who from a what family? Upon whose orders? Too many travel restrictions here, so I borrowed the rich kid's attendant. You've been bringing her along to get you to places, huh? No, I mean, what do you mean you just brought that kid on my orders? Rishi snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing a few times, and only then brought the child to the elevated platforms in front of the class. She just kidnapped this fucking kid. The kid's kind of trembling and anxious looking. I extend my greetings to the venerable hierarch. That kid's scared out of his mind. Memories of childhood are important. They're the experiences that shape your future. Observe and listen. What's up with you acting serious all of a sudden? Though I do agree that childhood memories are important. My memories with Big Brother Bao are what... Anyways, moving on. You heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming approachable to kids here might help prevent a lot of potential future conflict. But you've got your work cut out for you. Children of Degwanwan are extremely wary of anyone who's not their immediate family. Even worse, you pretty much tricked this kid here using my name. He must be terrified, and I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings too. Heh, I'll give you a demonstration. Behold. Laughing and playing with children brought back fond memories of my own childhood. Wow, he's really taken a liking to her. Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down. Besides, how's she even doing that with her hands? Not even masters of martial arts move like that. Rishi was practically giving him no time for any other distractions, or even a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including but not limited to ventriloquism, kongzu, a traditional Hongguan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually... Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Ria's shoe, the fear he showed earlier gone without a trace. Of course she's got a daughter, hasn't she? I don't think I actually know this, but apparently she's got a daughter. I've seen it mentioned a lot of times. Never would have imagined Ria would be good at this. Neat. And with the exact same expression as her usual one, Ria was gently caressing the child. Well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat. Hinted, yeah, hinted. In her OG book, she has a kid, I see. But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of person I am. Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I'd start to make some progress, but whenever he suspected that I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard. That's also because he's a Daguanmon kid. Kids don't survive this place for long if they're not quick on the uptake.
Venerable Hierarch, may I ask you something?
Well, asking's free, but I gotta tell you, it's gonna depend on what you're about to ask whether I can help you or not.
Huh?
Wrong move, rookie Hierarch. Why say all that when TWDT? You don't get the immaculacy of succinct abbreviations. Ryoshi grabbed the child's shoulders, brought him before Jia-Ji-chun, then, in her usual curtness, spoke precisely 2 words to the confused child, and that seemed to do the trick. Speak, kid.
It's, my big sis said that when the family hierarch war's over, I can finally play tons with friends. But their parents told them to stay inside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says that you're the biggest and the baddest of Hongguan, Venerable Hierarch. So I wanted to ask, you can make Daguan unsafe? I want to play with my friends.
Gotcha. I review your suggestion positively. She says he's translating for her. She says she'll totally make it happen. Sometime later, after Zirin guided the child out of the classroom, I found Jia-Ji-chun whispering something to yourself. You've got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with restructuring days is just one of them. I was going to try to improve the safety of this place anyway, whether he asked me to or not. Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own. A place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside. Worked with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we faced in the adventure. Learned some threats and intimidating expressions I could use to frighten the target. Okay, this. We need negatives here. Fuck home. Laughing and playing with children brought back fond memories of my own childhood. Based on the skills I learned, I managed to recreate the model of a machine from Fast's blueprint. Oh, Fast is actually still quite low. Worked with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we faced in the adventure. Rodian, all about that poker face. Ba ba da ba da ba da ba. Know something? Everyone communicates with their eyes even before they talk. So you better pay attention to what their eyes are saying. Great, that's really great, but I don't know, it just feels like an oddly specific subject to be talking about, especially when we're sitting around a gambling table. Sinclair! Given the time limit, this just happened to be the fastest and clearest method of demonstrating and training your abilities to control your emotions. I swear I had no other ulterior motive. I was practically forced to do this. Ah, wait, stop glaring at us like that and come and join us at the table. I'm only briefly visiting my lady to pick up some paperwork, as there is still much to be done. I'll be leaving in no time, poor way. Come on, guy! You know this game needs 4 players. I refuse your invitation. I must say it's ridiculous of you to force my lady to partake in such a base activity. What audacity to invite me as well. Oh, so you think you don't have a chance, huh? Wow, and here I thought you'd at least be better than me at this game. Fine, I get it. Don't play a game you have a snowball's chance of hell in winning. It's a good philosophy. I subscribe to it. You seriously think that your shallow, obvious attempts at goading me into playing this game will work? Huh? What? Sorry, Scrub says what? So wait, join the table. Alrighty. This lesson's pretty straightforward. You three will work together to ensure that I don't win this game. In other words, make sure I'm not number one by the end of it. Well, that seems easy enough. But be warned, I have this special power to read into your minds without hearing even a word out of your mouths. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's see, Sinclair. I can see the corners of your lips twitching while your eyes are suspiciously wandering over there. You're looking to form a peng, aren't you? And Chi-Chun, you... And you want this dong tile that I've got. Now that I know to never, ever discard this tile. How'd you know? Honestly, it would have been tougher for us to not know. You can let yourself be anxious, sure, but don't ever let it peek through. The moment someone smells your weakness, they're gonna eat you right up. And Wei, you... using the glint of your glances to hide your eyes, huh? Whew, this isn't gonna be easy. Your greatest mistake tonight was allowing me to seat at this table. I already know the ready hand you've got there. Oh, you do? Not bad. But you're just as much of an open book, my guy. You just need that one Zong tile, don't you? Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting that tile, 'cause it's not there. Gang! I see. You made Gang meld so that you can claim the Zong, which was the rearmost tile, didn't you? Heh. Does that by any chance imply that you somehow know the location of every tile in this game? Nah, no way. I just have this sixth sense for bad vibes. Very well. Never once did I think I would ever step back into this dark world of shadows, but... very well. I'll be setting this far aside and... I'm impressed. Way too intense. Can hardly get involved. Guys, isn't this supposed to be a class for us? Shush, my lady. The importance of this movement could not be overstated. I see. Swapped out your ready hand, didn't you? What do you think? 3 Huatars in a row, huh? I see you've got some innate luck too. Very well then. I'll have to wager it all on this one suit. I won! That's a Qing Yao Ju hand. Your downfall was written the moment you forced me to discard Zong. Aw, darn, I lost that, huh? Well played. Did you see that, my lady? I apologize for that vulgar display, my lady. I will bring some tea. Wei, victorious, stumbles out of the room with his shoulders slumped. Jishan's like... By playing various games with Roger, I didn't just learn how to hide my expressions, I learned how to hide my gesture tails too! Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. This is so stupid. Laughing and playing with children brought back fond memories of my own childhood. How much are we on? 84. Okay. We got another 3 in us. By playing various games with Roger, I didn't just learn how to hide my expressions, I learned how to hide my gesture tells too. Managed to understand the troubles most foot soldiers go through and learn to get a better idea of the flow of a battlefield. With only a few words, I managed to convince the target to spill all the beans. Third form. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh, Radiant. Shit. Radiant's Morale Plus. I didn't realise. It makes sense. Radiant's a joy. Most of the time. I guess we, like, these are probably the least used, so I guess we use these now. Because they need to get mastered as well. If we can get that. Oh! Smash my knee on the table. Laughing and playing with children brought back fond memories of my own childhood! Yeah, she's got that Heisho spider aspect, you know? Managed to understand the troubles most foot soldiers go through and learn to get a better idea of the flow of a battlefield. Yeah, Dawn's still really low. Time certainly flies while hearing the tales of exciting adventures. We're getting that. Day 18. She's got this. I heard from Big Bro that you sent your coins to Big Brother Chi. Every hand, once in circulation, goes round and round until it eventually returns to their original owners. I also heard that some of the Wang family helped with removing the foreign powers from here. Why? I only wanted to prevent this place from getting robbed blind. I live here, you know. This is where my wealth lies. Well then, can I ask for your public support? Oh, I applaud your audacity in thinking someone who just gave you the moon should be asked for the stars as well. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hongguan lies right now. With that in mind, let's say that I do announce my public support for you. I'm not going to have a voice to speak with by the time the powers that be are done with me. Look, if Big Sis Wanchan genuinely believes that I'm not fit to be the family hierarch, then I'll happily remove myself from power. But she's affiliated with Q Corp. Do you seriously believe she has Hongguan's best interests at heart? With all those conspiracies she's been weaving under the surface? All those business deals and clearly skewed policies? I do not. But if you're going to present yourself as the alternative, then you need to be someone concrete enough to rely on. Let me just say that about half of the board of directors' votes may as well be considered abstaining votes. They're keeping their silence because they're afraid of Jia Yuanchan's retaliation. So your remaining task is to convert those silent voices in your favour. Oh, not shaken by that at all, huh? I thought you'd get that lost and wondering look in your eyes. I guess I'll have to work on my poker face. No. Most people would have failed to pick that up. You certainly changed since the evaluation. Your growth shows a lot of promise. Maybe that's why he handed the coins over to you. Well, I guess that's not the only thing he handed over to you, I suppose. Hongguan's tomorrow. Anyways, I should probably do as I'm told for now, huh? My cousin will be your opponent today. I won't accept you as my hierarch just yet. Fight me, and prove that you're at least better than I am. Only then I'll accept you. Easy win right here. Look at this no-name, Jishin. What a joke. Oh, we're on 4th form of Phoenix now. Third form, fourth form, third form. Damn, she's popping off. This no-name wanger has got absolutely destroyed. Great job, Shisha. Great job. Great job. What? Do you have something to say to my face? Yeah. Don't give my little brother your crap. Your little brother? You know who I'm talking about. Do you have any idea of the mess you left behind when you yoinked that kid away? Oh. The buzzcut kid was a little brother. You can barely even hold on to your seat. Which you're about to lose soon anyway. You have the gall to give him false hope? I know it's all just politics to you, but kids really believe you, you know? I heard from the kid that you seemed relieved upon hearing what I said. Told me you were happy for once to hear that he had a fun time after being barred from playing with his friends with how things are in Hongguan. Shut up. Besides, it's not all just hot air. What? I wasn't making an empty promise when I said I will change Hongguan to be a place where everyone can live without fear. And for that, I'm going to protect my seat of power no matter what it takes. You'll fail. Not with you on my side. We all know what Big Sister Yuan-chan's Hongguan looks like. It'll be exactly the same in essence. It'll be the same for the foreseeable future. Tell me, are you sure you're okay with handing over that same burden we carried all our lives to your little siblings? No, of course not. Wang Qingshan left in a hurry. That look in her eyes told me that there was conflict brewing in her. Fighting's all about morale. Of course it is. Heathcliff. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. Right, lads, listen up. This ain't gonna be like them boring old classes you've been sitting through. You've got to leave the desk behind once in a while to learn some real life lessons, yeah? Right, so here's the deal. You want to break their morale before the brawl even begins. Brawl? Learn this by heart and you'll be kicking those twats' asses left, right and centre. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. So, Heathcliff, I've got to ask this question. Something about your club seems different today? Looks a lot more colourful, too. Bollocks! Lad catches on quick. That way bloke said something about how swinging around a real club might come off as too threatening and confiscated it. That high-tech weapon cries boop and it hits people. I see. Oi! Don't you underestimate me just because I'm holding a different bludgeon. Let's get on with it. Straighten your shoulders, eyes wide open, let's get cracking. With that, Heathcliff triumphantly raised his newfound weapon toward the sky. Made a small boop noise. I learned the art of mad dogging and decisive action. Based on the skills I learned, I managed to recreate the model of a machine from Faust's blueprint. I had a so-so time learning about fixers and their deeds. I guess we'll finish Dawn. Almost got to give chat a lick today. How are you doing, Marshmallow? Need an understanding of how I could break the enemy's morale. By playing various games with Rogia, I didn't just learn how to hide my expressions, I learned how to hide my gesture tells too. I was completely absorbed in the exhilarating tales of fixers. I even forgot to breathe at one point. Oh shit, we've got yeah, we've got the final one, of course. Wait, is it the final one? No, yeah, it is the final one. This class. After an uncharacteristic pause, Zulu continued, will be taught by a guest lecturer who has been invited by your for your tutelage. A guest lecturer? But I wasn't informed of this. But are they? I don't know. Maybe they're lost? A little bird told me that the venerable hierarch will gift me a bottle of top-notch cloudy wine straight from the Dagwanwan's brewer. Who's this? Phooey! There any truth to that, folks? That guy. Ah, it's the Night Drifter! Just stopping by to see if I can leech some liquor at this party. Hongwan's an awfully miserly place. But you'd spare a shot of liquor for this poor old drifter, won't you? Well, you're clearly not just any old poor old drifter. Are you guys acquainted? He ambushed us in our room after the first round of the family hierarch war was over. He what? Family hierarch war's been over for a while, and everyone in Hongwan knows who the winner is. How dare a mongrel like you who only knows how to mooch off of other families setting foot in here? Looks like I'm gonna have to give you my clan a stern talking to. How can they lip slip a drunk assassin like? Haha, I see that our young hierarch is plenty suspicious. I have been a guest in many places, but please, I'm no moocher. Put your worries to rest. I'm only a drunkard who enjoys a cool swig of liquor. The scenic landscapes of my bar. The sky is my ceiling and the dirt is my bed. The man who had introduced himself as the Night Drifter of the Drunken Farm leapt down, landing with dexterity that betrayed the rags he wore as clothing and the terrible stench of liquor emanating from him. Is he seriously? Bad news, Miss Shi-chan. Apparently Jio Wan-chan's bestowed upon you a new master. Huh? Big Sister Yon-chan? She also wanted us to deliver the message that she was sending a master because, and I quote, I feel a deep sense of trepidation and pity for my dearest little sister, the neophyte hierarch who must be struggling left and right without a proper master. Wow, I'm beside myself with gratitude. So that's the supposed teacher? This mysterious guy with a mysterious allegiance who might stab us in the back at any time? As you said, the family hierarch war is over. Even the mongrels of Hongwan know who has the legitimacy here. The incident during the contest was nothing more than business. A job to take care of in return for what compensation they gave me. I hope you don't carry that grudge in your heart. I'm sure you didn't harm your rivals in the family hierarch war out of a personal vendetta, did you? Sometimes business is just business. I killed young Master Bai. Bao. For they promised to pay off my bar tab. And I'm here to give the hierarch a lesson, for they promised to pay off my future tabs. There's nothing to be gained by taking your anger out on a gig worker living hard, hand to mouth like myself, don't you think? I'll advise that the optics and the consequences of rejecting a master sent to us by Jio Yuan-chan herself is not going to look too good. I know, it's only going to make me look worse. I'd rather not give Big Sister Yuan-chan more ammunition to take me down. And you there? We'll have eyes tracking your every move, so don't do anything that might rouse unnecessary suspicion. Hey! Ain't that a threat? I can hardly taste the wine before such hostility. Despite Sorda's dead serious warning, the Night Drifter's response was only a hearty chortle. Before I begin the lesson, I'd like to get an idea of where my to-be pupils are. Now, give me a demonstration if you will. Swing away. That's enough. But I was just getting started. Your form is flawed and your breathing is hollow. Need I see more? Flawed forms often invite flawed hearts. In other words, your martial arts prowess is amateurish. The hell? What the heck? Is this guy serious? Never had a single master who has said anything bad about my form. Your arms are straight, and the legs supporting your stance are solid and sturdy. Indeed, most masters would not bother themselves to find fault there. But let me pose this question. Are you, my venerable pupil, satisfied with martial arts that are made to dispatch unskilled peasants and no more? Huh? There's more to this than raw strength. Now, take a swing at me instead. Right, you asked for it. JJWF takes a powerful swing at the Night Drifter. The Night Drifter! Your mind outpaces your body. Your intent more transparent than a glass globe. And your edge is dull, for it has very little heart for feints. But he deftly weaves his way between her strikes, which failed to even touch the tip of his ragged cloak. You're far too eager to strike. Focus singularly on your opponent, with force distributed unevenly across your body. So you will fail to cut and gain a little hole as comeuppance. Then the Night Drifter pokes Jishinchen's back with a twig. Everyone vying for the seat of the family hierarch has to go through it eventually. The first kill. Some say the earlier, the better. Mine was when I was 13. Not too early, not too late, just right. It's already been a few years since my foolish brother's locked himself in his chamber. Last I heard he was bedridden for a week after ingesting some poison someone had sent to prank him. I'm not gonna live like that, dumbass. Try to relax your body, won't you? You have a weapon, yes, but one mustn't singularly focus on the opponent. Do try to reflect upon yourself and relax. Let the unnecessary strength go. Let it flow out of your body. Tensing up as you do will naturally shrink your mind and narrow your vision. Hey, wait. Should I send Big Bro a silver spoon or something? It wasn't that bad this time, but what if they gave him a way worse poison next time? You know, young Master Bo won't accept your gift, my lady. I doubt he's even seeking the culprit right now. So stupid. Zero interest in anything practical. Zero ambition. What a silly, pathetic attitude to have. Just how? But my lady, it wasn't practically that guided you when you chose to save my life over maintaining your control over the Wu branch. Some seek the state of Anata, the non-self. What they seek is the path of Azura, reserved for the likes of blade fiends. You must learn to let go of everything, except for the self. What kind of life is it to live without stepping over others? Let it all go. The gazes, the pressures, all of it. Instead, face yourself, and only yourself. And feel how light it all becomes. After some thought, Shichen's form visibly relaxes. It wasn't just her form that relaxed. Her pursed lips seemed to have found peace as well. She's got it. Well, then what should we do about you, my overconfident, proud pupil? Will you maintain your grave and cocky silence? I wasn't being cocky, if my memories haven't failed me. You were one of the young Master Jiabo's underlings, correct? Underling. Yeah, however you want to call it, I guess. Sinclair replied with a resigned sigh. Just why do you think it was that you, specifically you, among his 12 underlings, were chosen to take the class alongside this young hierarch. Sinclair momentarily flashed a flustered expression, taken off guard by the stranger's sudden, pointed question, but he soon regained his composure and replied, "Well, who else besides me would ever go along with these lessons plans? Don Quixote's going to ditch the classes out of boredom. Same goes for Roger, and Otis will try to take over the classes. Not to mention what it'd be like to have Heathcliff there and..." Such a loquacious list of excuses. Struck a nerve, did I? How come you know so little about yourself? Even less than what I have already learned about you. What are you talking about? Yes, I can mention with Azura, indeed. Bird that has failed to break its shell in time will rot within its confines. Still don't understand what you're talking about. Even as he said so, Sinclair's expression seemed more like anxiety than confusion to me. Prepare yourself to flit away before the rain. You won't get another chance should you miss the opportunity. Then, the Night Drifter giggled flippantly, a suddenly serious attitude nowhere to be seen. Been a while since I let myself babble on for this long. I suppose I can credit my foolish pupils for that. Prepare to swing away. Meditated to empty everything except for myself. I'm still getting there, but I think I've got the ideal. I learnt the art of mad dogging and decisive action. Heathcliff gets very wrong with that hammer. Class over. Mad Dog, yeah. You gotta get your Mad Dog learning on. Tokyo Drifter. How you doing, Ellie? How are you, Pupedo? Hi, Distorted Ray. Chichin Musume, pretty little sis. Like, it's actually really cool. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. What a wonderful adventure that was! I'm so excited for our next session. I mean, class. Oh, to hex with it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate the follow. I hope you're having a good day. I learned the art of mad dogging and decisive action. Yeah, we just chomboed. Whoa, look at all this stuff. We're popping off out here. Chains of command. I see what they did there. I managed to tell the difference between the bowls by reading Honglu and Day's subtle tells. Learned some threats and intimidating expressions I could use to frighten the target. Took the class. Oh, we're so close. So close to mastery. Oh, here's the boy. Damn, am I glad I got my head screwed back on. It's a precious sight to watch everyone all freaking out about this child's play. All the misnews I've been hearing since I opened my eyes in the recovery room sound very enticing. I really wish I was there to watch it all. Half the family heads getting arrested for treason. The seat of the family hierarch going to some inexperienced kid from the Gia family. Not to mention how my lovely little sister had her engagement called off, and how she's now been branded as a traitor to her own blood. All the entertainment in the world seems to have happened during my little nap, don't you think? You didn't even show your face at the regular assembly, so I doubt you've any concern for the future of Hongguan. So, just what are you doing here? I just thought I'd have some fun! Fix him. He'll fix something.
최고의 방책은 전쟁이 일어나지 않게 하는 것.
Win-rate him!
좋아. 구조를
Jichin,
파악했어.
defeat the enemy.
중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거야.
You studied Mayor Salt well.
봉황이 날개처럼. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면
She has dominated all these fights. Absolutely demolished them.
지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
Oh, 1 second. Jichin in all of your next fights for the secret 14th sinner. Oh man, I wish. I wish. I wish wasn't. Like, Dulcinea bonds are not bonds that can be broken. Why stop now? Decapitate me like my last death. Or stab me in the heart. Cut my limbs to ribbons! Listen, this duel's just a spar, okay? We don't have to kill each other for this to end. Now isn't this frustrating? You have the opportunity of a lifetime right before your eyes. You're too weak to use it. You have everyone who fights you on every step of your way coming to you, practically presenting their heads on a silver platter, and you're just gonna let them sink away with these scratches? Get your act together. Family hierarch war's over, and I'm not gonna kill someone just because they're a bit uncooperative. Get real! Do you have any idea how long it'll take you to gain even a morsel of power for playing this fool's game? Want to hear a little tip on how you can firmly establish your position as the family hierarch? Kill me in the most horrible, painful, hideous way you can imagine. And hang my corpse by the entrance of that assembly hall over there. Use me to send a clear message. And station every single one of your Heisho packs between each pillar in the assembly hall, and if anyone dares to speak out against you, snip! Chop their head off before they can get another word out. 5 days. It'll only take 5 days before everyone starts eating out of your hand. And that's how you establish yourself as the hierarch. Fear is power. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm here to make Hongguan a place where people can live without fear. I thought you of all people might understand. I remember how you used to hate hurting people, more so than anyone else. Man, what a boring answer. That was duller than even my dullest expectations. It'll only take a few years until you break, until you become just like them. Just like the family hierarchs of the past who couldn't help but ruthlessly weed out any seeds of resistance. Just how many people here do you think still have any grip on their sanity? Maybe I'm only a few years away from becoming an idiot shuffling aimlessly around Daguan. I can only hope that I won't be a slobbering mess by the time that happens. If something entertaining is gonna happen, I can only hope that it happens while I'm still sane. Zoe-pan sauntered away, but Jie-Ji-chun found it difficult to move on. Excellent work, my lady. You've passed the 4th exam with flying colours. You certainly crushed them all for us underestimating you. My lady? Jie-Ji-chun seems deeply engrossed in thought. She's not happy with the way that went. Rest day. Very important. Oh, we're low morale. Probably should have done it the other way around, shouldn't I? My lady seems to be in a particular mood today. It's all useless, isn't it? Chun? When these classes end and you guys all leave, I guess I'll be spending my days worried to death that an assassin could pop up out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at shadows cast from lamplights. So would it mean anything for me to, you know, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I have the will and the determination to become the family hierarch, and now I have to prove to everyone that I deserve to keep it? Those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their rooms? Mr. Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before? Playing hooky is a euphemism for eliminating your enemies. Well, I've really done it back when I was at school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play. Oh! I've only done it once myself, after a friend taught me into it. That was Demian, right? I agree. It seems that the time for my lady to clear her head has come. Very well. Let's play. Just one hooky. What are you guys doing? Come on. Let's get moving. I've got to prove myself, don't I? I've got to have those bastards' approval, don't I? She's in a really bad mood today, huh? My lady, have you visited the backyard by the Luxu Hermitage, Snowreed Hermitage, as of late? No, but I know what happened there. They threw in a few dead bodies from the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, decided to bury the whole thing. Indeed, they did. Stench was so overwhelming and toxic that corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out. So why even bring up something awful like that? It seems that a tree had taken root there, my lady, amidst all that rot. Willow. The willow tree reached deep into the pond with its roots, clearing it of all the foul grease, cleansing the water. One day we found it clear and glittering, thriving with other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal, clear pond surrounded by leaves and moss. Some months ago, they introduced a few carps in there, and when they checked again, they were just as vivacious as they were on their first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit, if it is alright with you? Jichin didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyway. You weren't kidding! I avoided this place for so long! I never thought I could be this clean again. Oh, she's so happy. You've literally never seen her that happy. I can hardly believe that this pond used to be in a rotten bog. All that happened was that this tree happened to take root here. What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, and as I was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow, as long as there is a steady root to rally around. After a long break, it seemed to freshen even our hearts. Aww. Is that a shark fin? Hey! Don't worry about that, Ellie.
Nice! You're making good progress.
Reform. The light in your eyes. I think you've certainly improved in all aspects. I dare say you've had some change of heart, too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before. Oh, there we go. Huge morale gains. I managed to tell the difference between the bowls by reading Honglu and Dae's subtle tells. Almost. I didn't just learn how to hide my feelings, I learned how to make whatever expressions I want. Finally won a round against Rosia. Just Long Dong Li to go. God of Gamblers passive. We look at that. No, I guess not. Wonder what it does. We still need to do this. We want to combo that with something here. So only Honglu and Rodian have a combo that gives raised morale. What day are we on? 26. I guess we want to do Z. Actually, pretty similar. $20 morale loss, huge success in class. That's interesting. Cool, because it's Faust and Heathcliff and they always argue with each other. Like every Valpurgis. They have a moment where Heathcliff embarrasses himself and then Faust like just takes it upon herself to explain every detail. Because they're both like kind of self-obsessed. Yeah, they don't think for themselves, but they're both kind of self-obsessed. But they're only focused on their own actions. They're like very selfish, right? Kind of. Like they only really think of their own actions for about 98% of the time. And they don't think for themselves. I guess let's do that. We can drain it back afterwards. Want to see all the comments? Nah, it's alright. Thanks though, Aritems. Right, class. Here's a new task to help you learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemies, you've already lost. So it don't matter how many there are, or how threatening they look, yeah? Take me for example. Have I ever turned tail and fled like some milksop, no matter what enemy we were put against? I don't think you ever have. Leave it to the nerds to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in headfirst. Ishmael and Otis would have boldly rushed in headfirst to shake him by his lapels if they had been there. By his lapels, sorry, if they had been there. Here's what I think. Neither of you've got enough pluck. That's why neither of you could say shite about those buggers back at the assembly hall. Am I right? JJWF maintained her silence, the old scar on her pride growing sore again. Look who's talking. Yeah, he's got a big weapon up here. This is his epic weapon, you know? So let me help you lot grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink, lad. Stand proud. Well, okay, but how could I? Don't worry about offending me, yeah? I can take it. Unlike you two, I've built up enough thick skin for all kinds of insults thanks to my years in the back streets. I'm bloody invincible. Yeah, well, shut up, Heathcliff. Good lad. You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing up there is standing around trying to look cool. Ooh, that one's got to sting a little. That's it, you little shite! It's what I would have said back in the day. And I probably would have struck you with this hammer. I mean, my club. I've changed too. And so did you. I can see that fire in your eyes has grown. Remember this feeling, yeah? I will. Now, let's practice. It looks like both of you have the perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons, the both of you. Huh? You mean us? Me and Ji-chun? I grew my backbone by getting into fisticuffs with the boys back in the Backstreet days. They break my arm, I break their legs in return. See what I mean? Is that what besties is supposed to mean? Ji-chun asked with considerable confusion. Well, let's do this, I guess. You don't want me to go easy on you, do you? I don't. Yeah, character development. Listen here, you little shite.
최고의 방책은 전쟁이 일어나지 않게.
Get him, Zichun.
좋아, 구조를 파악했어.
You slap down that milksop.
내가 어떤 사람인지 알게.
Makes you forget that yeah, his introduction was him killing what, like 3 of the sinners? 3 or 4 of the sinners? He just killed them, like in the middle of the bus, because they pissed him off. Just absolutely cut them open. Smash their brains in, I guess. Sinclair's cheating out here, he's gaining morale. Oh, he's in the shit. Ji-chun's manhood is just too big at this point. She's stacked out. Alright, that's good enough. Attacked Ishmael. So Ryoshi killed both. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, attacked Ishmael. Ryoshi killed both of them because they were noisy. Don impaled Ryoshi through a skull. Yep. Bloody hell, lad. That was much closer than I thought. Good match. Jeez. Don't most people lose steam the longer a fight gets? The heck was that at the end? 2 of them clashed with everything they've learned. With all that, all they learned up until the lessons began. I thought for sure that Ji-chun would come out on top without breaking a sweat, given that Sinclair wasn't using an identity and the tough training Ji-chun had as a family hierarch candidate. But perhaps thanks to the Night Drifter's teachings, or thanks to that mark on his forehead. I saw a glimpse of Sinclair I'd only seen in a select few mirror worlds. You alright, Sinclair? Yeah, it's not like we're going at it with real weapons, and the fight ended before it got any further. Thankfully, so I'm not hurt or anything. I'm feeling a bit of fever on my forehead though. That's his mark, isn't it? It didn't seem like Sinclair noticed the single yet clear red line that appeared on his forehead. It's not like anything bad happened when that mark manifested back in La Mancha land, but considering that Demian and Brim were the only other people who'd ever shown similar marks, I couldn't help but worry a little. Hey, you ever run away from home before? Where's this coming from? Going by the way you're acting, it's clear to me that you're a homebody, but... Homebody, sorry. There's something behind your eyes that tells me that your life hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. I think that might be true with all of the sinners, perhaps. Got to put an HP gate. Oh well. Oh, he phase skipped, I see. Did he pop off? Oh, Ji-chun's just too powerful. Like, we paid to win too much. I wouldn't call it running away from home. It's more like I left home. Because I didn't have a choice. How did that feel? Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world all on my own, and that was so overwhelming that, well, I'm sure you can't quite commiserate. You've always been on top of your game your whole life, after all. I did leave the Grand One by my own volition, but if I'm being honest, here's something I never told Wei. I felt unutterably lost. There was so much I had to do, so much responsibility. I guess neither of us were that ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home though. Ah, and there's Heathcliff too. He also left home. Some time ago we paid a visit to the manor that he grew up in. Heading home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey he spent just gussying up and primping his hair. Oh, poor Heathcliff. Something just came up. Class dismissed. Oh, poor Heath. That's rough. Because they can't even commiserate with him because they don't remember. Fucking sad. I love the art of mad dogging and decisive action. I saw right through every assassination method Hong Li prepared. We made it. I had a so-so time learning various technological and engineering knowledge. I should have put Heathcliff last. I guess we need to do like this. Oh, these gain 50 now. Fast gain is huge. Huoji. The blue is our weakest. Who does blue and green? Ah, they don't have a combo though. Or maybe they do and we haven't discovered, probably not. Don't have much Demian points, good. Spam Ish, Heathcliff, Ishmael. Faust. Spam Ish, Heathcliff, Faust. Heath. Ishmael, Heathcliff, Faust. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Ishmael, Heathcliff, Faust. We can. We need to give them sanity back though. Not sanity. Morale. We need to give them morale back. We have any combos with May Assault that we know? Ishmael. Otis. Gregor. He's got quite a few. They're not the ones we've picked there. That's fine, we'll just do this. But this is gonna blast the morale again, isn't it? We need to like get morale twice. We're in a bit of a morale hole here. We need to do one without him. We combo with her. Not you, Heath. That's fine, we can do that. Sadly this minigame is too limiting. I wasn't able to use Faust for all 3 classes of all 30 days. Nobody needs that much Faust. Jesus. Took the class. That's too much Faust. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. Learn some threats and intimidating expressions I could use to frighten the target. Oh, we've got one of these. Okay. This is day 28. I meditated to empty everything except for myself. I'm still getting there, but I think I've got an idea. So, are you gonna teach us any techniques? Haha! It's only been a few days since your training began yet. My other martial arts masters would teach me their secret techniques. So that's what's got you two pouting all lesson. Hey! Now, that's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick. Really? Tell me, what did I teach you to do as you swung your sticks? Forget all those things that put pressure on me. Face nothing but myself and my movements. And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of sound. The slight friction from the tips of your toes, the ruffle of your clothes, your breaths. Erase them all, erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world. The Night Drifter stands before us, but his presence becomes as hazy as mist. Despite the wild movements, we hear nothing. Second, emptiness of form. To have a form is to provide your foes with clues to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands, forget your structured forms. Break the mold, become the flow. Let only your will remain. Randomness seeps into his movements, until all semblance of pattern becomes lost. There was something clownish about his unpredictable movements, but they were also so hypnotic and floaty that JJWF and Sinclair couldn't look away. Last, emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking. Penetrate without gazing. Both JJWF and Sinclair's necks were marked by small imprints of the twig that pressed their skin. Zilu, who had been standing next to me all along, had leapt a small distance away, seemingly deep in thought. And my neck hurts, too. Guess I wasn't spared from the lesson. I wonder if this fits that saying that Yishang utters from time to time. To lose one's nose with eyes open. Immerse yourselves. Make sure your descent is slow and gradual. We've been focusing entirely on the self with your swings thus far, so you should find it quite easy to reach the state of emptiness of mind. Didn't I just say that one must take it slowly and gradually to empty your mind already? I'd have taught you my everything had you entered my tutelage long ago. Am I doing this right? No, wait, I need to relax more. So our new hierarch has found herself the clue to the emptiness of form. What technique is this? It's all just movements at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give them those flashy names. Truly secret techniques should come without one. Well, it's supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name? Well, in that case, that's some good wine indeed. I guess I'll go with something like Plastered Sheep, Unrestrained Ripples. That name sucks. The class comes to an end with an ultimate move that was probably named in haste. Seeley, who'd been observing the class from a distance, approaches the Night Drifter. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this, starting from its very fundamentals. Hardly can one find a pupil willing to slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world full of infinite technological advancements like the Veil. I'm only fortunate enough to have found two pupils who are indeed willing. your gait, your tone. Were you among the 10 blades of the East? No. It seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig, as I don't quite recall putting anything on your tab. Put your futile questions to rest, for I have no answers to give. The past is like smoke. I've long emptied any history worth delving into. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. Yeah, the ultimate dum-dum technique, empty head, drunkard sword dance. Time suddenly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. So we got our blue back up quite a lot. We're at 100 thingies, so we can do this, and then like heal back. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. I learned the art of mad dogging and decisive action. I had a so-so time learning about fixers and their deeds. Well, I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the fathoms of other people's hearts. Yeah, it's not like we can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right? And that is precisely why I've installed this box called Messages from the Hearts by the door here when the lessons first began. Messages from the Hearts? The greatest strength of Messages from the Hearts is an anonymity. Here, people can anonymously share their concerns that have been eating away at them without the fear of judgment. Oh god, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, that seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone can be more open about their feelings behind the massive anonymity. The box is quite heavy. It seems that everyone's been making quite the liberal use of this. Let's see. The one at the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says. Oi, I gotta ask. Do these consultations ever do anything? Does this mask of anonymity even do anything? Also, what's the point of these messages anyway? If you've got to whinge at their face. Well, I ain't got much else to say, so I've got one. My neighbour next door keeps making weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about a smoking head over and over. The point is, it's been getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it in my own way. Deal with it how? It's all just personal grievances. Let's see what the next one says. Who dares harrow the executive manager with such useless, weak-minded complaints? If you're going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and cause them trouble, I will personally hold you responsible for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for consequences. Wow, it's like she's right here, speaking right into my ear. Never thought written words could cause hearing damage. Moving on. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know who this is. Oh, it's probably Ishmael. I don't know who, or maybe Gregor. Someone's probably been spying on these papers, huh? That's Ishmael. I've got proof too. I folded this piece of paper up into a padlock knot shape, but whoever spied on it did a pretty bad job of replicating it. Oh, and another thing, my compass disappeared. It's the compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Belmort trenches. We're gonna have to re-establish some house rules soon. A theft report? Did one of you steal her compass or something? Her compass was swallowed by the sea. Exactly, Ellie. Nah, No way, we'd never steal from each other, no matter how hard things get. I don't know, maybe if hair coupons were on the line, Sinclair. Something troubles me. Ooh. Finally! Someone finally submitted a real concern here. Oh, it's Faust. I guess that makes sense. I was expecting more words from Faust. I was expecting a like, I have an issue with this misconception or something like that. Was it the Type A wire that caused the explosion? Or was it caused by replacing the clamp part from the shattering gear? Foos. Foos the Faust. Faust the mouse. Ah, the likely answer has been found. Do not concern yourselves with this message. Well, that's that, I guess. I felt like I should really share this with someone. I felt like I should really share this with someone. Who would say that? I felt like I should really share this with someone. He hasn't done anything yet. It's not going to be Ryoshi. It's not going to be Don. It's not Heathcliff. Heathcliff's already gone. Maybe it's Gregor. Or Yisang. Maybe Yisang. I don't know. This one might be something serious for once. I can't just let this slip away like nothing happened. You know? Oh, it's Rodian. Yeah, I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Mephi some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head while they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what happened there, right? You're going to have to bring me up to speed on this one. Yeah, I don't know exactly when this was, but there was a loud shattering noise outside at night, so we all ran out to see what happened. But no one managed to find any credible clue, so I guess we just let it slide. Anywho, Dante said that we were A-okay, so we just moved on from it, but I'm telling you, I saw what I saw. I saw Greg's bug arm. Ooh. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying that alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean? I'm trusting the anonymity thing on this. Gregor, he wouldn't. The alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing precisely at 22:32. And at that hour, only 2 individuals were awake for the night watch duty. Guys, this is turning into like a whole investigation. Around 2200 hours, one of the 2 individuals who were on the right night watch duty was... Yep, Miss Faust was one of them. Hey, Dante. Didn't you have a brief conversation with Faust that morning? Now that I think back on it, I did have a talk with Faust that day. Briefly. Faust made a few criticisms on my command style. She was right, but I pretended not to hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Faust actually held a grudge against me for that. So, fellas, I don't think anyone's noticed this, but, I noticed a dusting of cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Manager Bud, there's only 2 among us who smoke. But one of them is put in his own room, know what I mean? There's a witness too. Unless that witness is a cowardly liar, I'm sure she'll come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night.
I shall prove to thee that I am no cowardly weaver of lies! In truth, among numerous cosplays I had wished to accomplish was the duo of Captain Scorps and One-Eyed Navigator. Aha! To explain the lore of Captain Scorps, this tale beginneth verily in year 757.
After a very long read.
Alas, the possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious than one could have expected. Thus did I convince young Gregor to join forces with me, to cosplay together and capture our glorious forms in photographs. Though 'twas a pity he had no pipe, only a cigarette between his teeth. And young Ishmael's compass was to be the captain's trinket. and for the purpose I had briefly borrowed it from her room. Oh, woe is me, for I regrettably spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the funny aroma, the tiny aroma. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the tiny aroma lingereth still. I beg thy forgiveness, Manager Esquire.
Well, at least we know who took Ishmael's compass.
The tiny tuny.
Frustrating. Who would this be? Oh, reissue. Frustrating. T, C, G, W, N, N, and M, T, L. Is this like a code? Sinclair? Translation, please? Yeah, trying to pass that from written text is usually way harder. I normally try to read the speaker's tone and the general context of her words, so... Unfortunately, the plot thickens. Guys, are we actually gonna try to find the culprit? Nausea bubbled inside me, like I'd just been reminded of a persistent itch I managed to forget. Ugh, it's like someone shoved a tuning fork in my head. Guys. Alright, that's it, Clockhead. Read up. I want to confront the sword and tell him to like it. Tell him to tell it like it is if there's something bugging him, instead of whinging in his sleep. Now where is he? Hey, nice. Heath, I mean, looks like this anonymous person's trying to get to the bottom of this. Dante. Oh, Dante. Fare you well? It is I, the sinner first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to a restful sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, one must first explore the sentences cut off, as this part of the paper has been torn off. Worry not about what exists no longer. I will not embark on a multiloquent ascribing of excuses. I write before you in shame, and express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was that sinner. I think he fessed up, but doesn't something feel off about the whole thing? What if he's just trying to take the heat? What if someone's pretending to be him? But it seems that the number one sinner doesn't want to share the story any further. Maybe it's best we not dig into it unnecessarily. Sinclair! Are you pretending to be Yi-Sang? Oh, hello Dante. I was taking a walk near here when I found a piece of paper somebody tore off, so I'm returning it here. Hope it finds its way to the original writer. Thus returns the number one sinner's paper. This has to be the key to resolving the case. I hurriedly unfurled the paper. The truth of what transpired. You ever find yourself wondering? Oh, you ever find yourself wondering? Wondering if that cracking... Oh, it was him. Wondering if that cracking fire-like thing on top of the manager's head is hot like real fire, or if it would not give off any heat. Curious, right? Don't worry about it, Yi-Sang. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching it ourselves. Indeed. Unproven phenomena cannot be confirmed without direct means of observation. They're asleep. Must have been pretty tired. Indeed. The ticking noise has shrunk in volume. It seems that we have just shared a thought. What if we were to just quickly check? While this manager's asleep? Perhaps the sound of phlegm sinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. Yeah, well, I'm just finding out how loud my heartbeat can get. Yi-Sang. The alarm next to the manager. It's about to go off. You have a minute at most. I shall interface with the timepiece. Look at you rats, playing a played-out prank. Ah! And that is indeed the full tale of what has transpired. Under the lens of hindsight's illumination, it would almost appear that I am making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. It would be easier on my heart to simply assume the entire weight of the culpability myself. And that's where it ends. The culprit was right under our noses the whole time. Sorry, Dante. I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about utterly punishing the culprit that I couldn't bring myself to, you know. Can't deny that. Tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've been made a student alongside Miss Shichun. There must have been something that the company was expecting from me, but it's just not showing up, so they must be making me take these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them, while I'm still here, feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know, I just get the feeling that the ship might have sailed for me already. It was clear to me that Sinclair wasn't just talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It's about something that more than half of the sinners had faced and were facing at this point, about his past and the path that lies ahead, the guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it. It's never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole trajectory of their lives is going to be. That's why we're all on the bus, isn't it? You know, you can just shout at me to get my act together, like Heathcliff does. Oh, I will, if I have to. Whatever that was, you guys managed to talk it out, huh? All I heard was that ticking noise. Sorry about that. What Dante said was, hey, don't bother. I just needed a quick glance at that look on your face, to feel that tick-tock with my heart. Thus, the curious case of the alarm clock came to an end. So, what do you guys think Ryoshi was trying to say? Two culprits. Guy with nightly nightmares and my translator.
How did he get that from the text? The guy's a prodigy. Sinclair's a prodigy. Yeah, it wasn't his fault Demi and KS'd him. Absolute scumbag Demi. Hey Bean Craven, how's it going, man? Hey guys, hey Majesty. Hi Syraxor, sorry. Hi Harsh Knight. Sorry. When I'm reading the text, it's really hard. I see. Sinclair and I sat there for a moment, absorbing the awkward silence. Jia Jichun's Crimson Strike 4th form blinding skill improved. Day 30. Day 30. This is the last day. Morale is just for classes, right? Yeah, morale is just for classes. $200 Faust classes for the secret ending. Oh, it also affects starting SP. Oh, we get 40. Oh shit! You get 40 morale restored from this. I didn't even realize. I guess we can do that then. OP. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H Corp technology. I learned the art of mad dogging and decisive action.
Work with Sinclair to come up with the creative solutions to all kinds of trials we faced in the adventure. Finally, the 30 days of lessons were complete, and the day of the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Jia Jichun on her way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith that you will not be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you have all the others. It's most likely that you will be facing off against a skilled foe from the Jue or the Shi family. Of course, you will doubtless wipe the floor with them. I've taught you all that I know. I hereby give you permission to leave this boot camp. You got this, Shi-chan. Guys, you really didn't have to all come out here to see me off. Still, I have undying faith that you will emerge victorious, my lady. However, Zigong and I have also prepared about 21 alternative solutions, in case things go awry, so please, don't worry yourself too much. Do you have faith in me or not? Upon our return to the classroom, we were greeted by an unexpected guest. Ooh. Must be very nice to be Shi-chan, to have so many teachers from all walks of life helping her out. It had been a while since we last saw Jue Baochai, which was during the regular assembly. What are you doing here, big sis Baochai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you all a visit out of pity. If only Shi-chan and Bao Yu both smiled on like nothing happened. Our blossoming years would have been peaceful still. Big sis, please stop talking to me like that. I didn't know that you could even say such a thing. Well, it's always been this way. If a fruit is fully ripened, we have to seize it and taste its juices before anyone else. Can't just let go. I can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't. My parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were, how do you walk so softly, so lightly? I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the days go by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is, without asking for more or less. But how could one do nothing but watch when we're surrounded by such fragrance? What more do you seek, big sis? I want to be closer, that my hands may reach you. Have you already forgotten who had sent you that guest lecturer? Jichen's palanquin isn't headed to the exam site, is it? No, it's not. It's heading to Big Sis Yanchan's exam site. Blasted scoundrels! I must hasten after the palanquin before I lose track of them. We sprinted outside, even before the Jue Baochai finished. Trap, huh? Fellas, shouldn't we also get going? Calm yourselves for a moment. Jigong swiftly came between us, clearly having taken a gauge of the situation. It has been far too long since the palanquin has departed. It's better to move based on concrete evidence, not urgency. Though a beast seems to have chosen the latter. I think I heard the faint sound of hooves coming from the direction the Jigong was glancing in. So, I guess that's like kind of confirmed, right? That he's the horse. Wei is like the horse. The centaur. Wei is like a horsey man. So this is what you've chosen. Yes, the exams she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you've decided to follow yours. Baochai smiled sweetly. So now, what fragrance do you smell from me? I smell nothing. Zue Baochai left the room wordlessly upon hearing that reply. Aww. That victory screen. I feel so bad for Baochai. She got a pretty bum deal. Right, that is all of this that I can do today. It's just because our Pathfinder's starting later that I got to stay on for this long. But I gotta pop off. I've got real life Pathfinder to play. that I probably should have been prepping for the last hour.